Greetings, I am Rob Chapman, and today I'm going to tell you all about my new and awesome 10s or 10S custom guitar. Where do I start? There's so much to tell you about this guitar. It's really kind of taken me by surprise, I suppose, is the nicest way of saying it. 10S, I think it's pronounced 10s or 10S, reached out to me and said, Chappers, we'd like to make you a guitar. And I was just like, really? Okay, fine. Thank you so much. I mean, I have lots, but I love guitars, and I'm always, looking for something new and exciting and a bit different, and maybe an opportunity to build something a little bit kind of unique. I mean, obviously I can do that through Chapman, but sometimes it's just nice to have a new guitar. After all, that's what guitarists do, isn't it? He who dies with the most guitars wins. They said, we'd like to build you a guitar, something just from our custom shop, anything you want. And I thought, you know what, that's too good of an opportunity to miss. So I accepted, and I said, I thought I'd test them. I kind of thought, all right, make me a Relic guitar with a story. So originally it was Sunburst, and it was battered and road worn and used, and then someone painted it with a gold top, and then that got worn through, and then they got into Ingve and they deeply scalloped the neck, and they said, yeah, sure, no problem. And I thought, oh, wow, okay, that's this is going to be an interesting, unboxing. So I got it, and I didn't film the unboxing because, really honest with you, This is an affordable Chinese brand, and I've been in this game a long time, and most of the mass-produced Chinese guitars, in my opinion, the quality is kind of hit and miss, and it really depends on the factory and then the management, and less on the brand sometimes even. So I didn't really have my hopes up too high. I just kind of thought it's a fun thing. If it ends up being a great guitar, then I'll be surprised. If it isn't great, I won't film it or whatever. I'll just have it and then maybe sell it or something. So I didn't film the unboxing, which is a shame. Because it's superb. And it's blown all of my expectations out of the water. And I think I've realized that I need to let go of some of my previous expectations on manufacturing in different countries. It's just human behavior, isn't it? It's a great, great guitar. So yeah, the relicking, it looks like it's done to a pattern, but in my opinion, I mean, although you probably wouldn't get wear in this area, you'd maybe get it a little bit further down, or this would maybe have a slightly smoother curve to it. If you're looking at a Relic guitar, I think this looks great. I really do. I think it's just, they've done it to a standard where I look at it. I mean, put it this way. When I unboxed it in front of my friend Sylvia, she went, but it's an old guitar. And I went, no, it's brand new. And she went, but it looks like it's old. And I went, yeah. And then I had exactly the same conversation with Alyssa, and she said, but is it new? And I went, yeah, it's brand new. She went, but it looks old. And I went, yeah, that's what we do with guitars. It's a weird thing. I can't really imagine another industry that would really do that, but we do, and we love it. So I'll talk you through the specs. It is a mahogany body with a maple cap. As you can see, it's sunburst and then gold top Relic. It is two of their own proprietary sort of 60s PAF paint applied for humbuckers, one volume, one tone. which I actually really like. I much prefer having a single volume and a single tone. In fact, if anything, I do away with the tone. I can't be asked. And I do away with one of the pickups. I'm a minimalist. First things first, I'm a minimalist. And then it's mega deep scallops. I'll give you some close-ups so that you can really appreciate the level of scallop that's gone into this. Their own tuners, I suppose, that again are also relic. Everything's relic. The neck is kind of, it's in between a 60s and a 50s taper. It's not mega skinny and it is not mega fat. It's really nice. The fret job, it's immaculate. It plays really, really, really well. And I really like it. If anyone remembers years and years and years ago, one of the first endorsements I ever had was with a company called Vintage, and they made a guitar called the Lemon Drop. Vintage guitars made in China, and this feels like a very, very high-end version of the vintage Lemon Drop. That's what it kind of feels like. The only sort of downside is that it came with 8s on it. At least I think they're 8s. They're definitely 8s, or at least very, very slim 9s. Probably because I asked for scalloping. The guys went, oh, he's into that, so we'll put 8s on it. So it is, it's incredibly slinky, but quite a nice aspect of having really, really skinny strings on a guitar when you buy it is you soon immediately kind of get to know whether the frets have got a problem somewhere or whether it's going to hold its tuning, and it does, it really does. So I'm going to restring it later on and kind of get to know it with 10 to 52s, which is my preferred gauge. And I think also I'm going to wrap over the stop tail piece to eliminate that, you know, there's a really high break relief here. And then I'm going to incorporate it into my repertoire. I'm obviously going to put some strap locks on it as well. I wonder if you can guess, if you don't follow me on Instagram, how much this would retail for, because this was also incredibly eye-opening. So if you follow me on Instagram, which by the way is here, bing, you'll know because I've already said in a comment, but with the scalloping exactly like this, they're selling this for $659, which is really affordable. The reason that they can do that is two different things. Firstly, it's made in China. And second thing is they're kind of selling direct through Reverb. So there's no store, no retailer taking their 30, 35, 40% or whatever. And probably no distributor. So it's a direct to Reverb type model, which again, for me, that's an interesting aspect of what they've managed to do. Are there any things I would change? Honestly, you know, for $659, no. I think they've just done something that is to be admired. Something that is kind of telling, I suppose, is when you look at the scalloping, and it's done to a really, really high degree, but they've even scalloped after the last fret. They didn't need to. After the last fret, you can't fret there. Nothing happens, and yet it is scalloped. And what that tells me is that potentially the people doing the work, I mean, they're factory workers that maybe don't play guitar because it's a wasted, I don't know, it looks cool, but what's the point? rather interestingly, just a few days after receiving this guitar, a company from Nepal contacted me and said they wanted to make me a guitar. And I thought, wow, this is a really interesting month. I've no idea what a guitar from Nepal is like, although I'm fascinated with Nepalese culture. I think it's a really interesting place, and they're based in Kathmandu, so that's going to be really cool. So stay tuned for a Nepalese shred machine at some point. But yeah, 10S, go and check them out and be surprised and interested. And I mean, I guess you would be forgiven for saying kind of a Chipson, but then you'd also be forgiven for saying really affordable, great looking. I mean, I'm telling you, it plays and sounds great guitar. So maybe you'd want to upgrade some of the electronics. I noticed that this had a little bit of a wiggle to it, but then for the price of a new input jack, who really cares, to be honest with you? Since I've recently entirely stopped using reverb, which I really can't explain, it's the strangest thing in my world, and I've also started playing with much, although this demonstration wouldn't necessarily show it, much cleaner tones. I thought I'd show you the clean sound of the guitar. I am struggling to keep my playing in tune, not the guitar's in tune, but my playing, because the strings are so soft and it's scalloped, I don't know how you say it in America, but in England I say scalloped, like the shellfish. I'm quite strong-handed because I'm used to sort of basically 11 gauge strings, that if I press on the string, I can get a serious bend out of it really easily. So anyway. I guess that's all I've got to say. You guys take it easy. I have been Rob Chapman. This has been my custom-built 10S single cut. You guys take it easy. Chappers out. Explosion. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate your support. And just to let you know, if you're interested in learning guitar or vocals or more about gear or anything in my crazy random life, I've just launched memberships and you can join by clicking on the link in the Show More section just below here. I've got 4 different levels, 8 gauge, 9 gauge, 10 gauge, and 11 gauge. They're all different, but they include cool things that allow me to interact more with you. Take it easy. Chappers out.